Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast.
I was about to say where my headphones.
Episode 222. That must have sounded amazing. Yeah. Welcome back. We're down in the basement to talk about another week of wrestling. It's Friday, October 18th. We'll publish this tomorrow on the 19th. We did, in fact, we'll get it out of the way. We watched Wrestle Dream. We liked a lot of Wrestle Dream. We loved a couple things on Wrestle Dream.
The prophecy was fulfilled.
We actually did a podcast.
Team
days after?
It would have been. Oof.
It's already published. It's already up there.
Was that the long weekend?
If you would like to listen to it, then you can. Thanks to a bunch of listeners, because I was just telling you our downloads were up a lot now. When you don't get a lot, it doesn't take a lot to move it. But because this is strictly hobby, right? So if you're listening to this and you're a regular listener, outside of the ones who contact us, there's a couple. I would love to know how
I'd love to, like, at that point, play that sound effect on somewhere where it's like, you are an idiot. If you're listening.
If you're listening to us, I would love to know how people found us, because we do know no promotion, and the algorithm can't be friendly to us.
I'll admit it right now, I don't remember the last time I've remembered to post for us.
Because this is just fun. I don't know. We just come down and do it. I get to mess with audio stuff. And hopefully, if we know a few people listen and like it. So if we always say you're in an exclusive club if you're one of them, and thanks, and that's awesome. And if you are a regular listener, tell us somehow, somewhere how you found us, because that's cool to know too. But anyways, 374% over last month, which is pretty cool.
Max. I'll show Max. Max from Sock Love.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
From Max. He was asking me when the next one's out, because
nice.
I think he's been putting on his background noise, so love you, Max.
Yeah. And so Wrestle Dream's up, and we usually just start off talking about whatever. There's timestamps. You can jump to whatever you want. We'll eventually get to Dynamite and NXT and a bit of Raw.
I mentioned it in my high spots, but I watched the Triple Threat again today because I had nothing to do.
What's that, 4 times? I watched it twice.
I think it's 4 times now, because I watched it once. Like, I watched it the first time, then I watched it once, and I watched it when you watched it, and then I watched it again.
Nice.
So yeah, I think I've seen it 4 times in the span of a week.
That is the Takeshita crowning moment that we talked about a lot on that show. It'll come up frequently because it's your favorite moment. So,
and it'll come up at the end of the year probably.
I was telling you, you're in a contest with Braden from Poison Rana.
It's not a contest. I've
also
been
is
here.
A gigantic lover of Takeshita. I was listening. Shout out to those guys.
I've been here.
That's true.
Since
you were on that island first, probably.
Ride or die, TOE.
Yeah, we loved him. And
Takeshita's my boy.
Unseasonably warm weather here, so I got in like 2.5 hours of pickleball already tonight. It's like 25 degrees. It's crazy. In late October, basically.
Yeah, I feel like it's been pretty chilly.
It's been, and then back to warm this weekend, apparently. Yeah. We're getting ready to, our family, we all have, a week off 2 weeks from now, heading to the States, hopefully, stateside for a couple days. You're going to hopefully do some shopping. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do something. I might buy stuff, who knows. But yeah, we're going to check out American shopping, American food.
Oh, yeah, wait.
There's some places your brother wants to hit for sure.
I want, because they got the chicken Big Mac back, but it's not here. So I would like that.
We're traveling to the States. We're traveling 3 hours to get you a chicken Big Mac. But anyways,
yeah.
So that's our big plan. I don't know. Anything else you wanted to discuss?
I don't know if I mentioned it last week, because it would have been the day before, but I did order Takeshita figure.
Oh, you did mention it. I'm pretty sure.
Did.
I feel like that's something you
I got Takeshita and Switchblade on the way.
Right.
That's a nice little thingy.
Yeah, and that's, the more I think about it, we were talking about it a bit, the more I'd love the Jay White and Hangman Page opener.
Yeah,
that was really super good chemistry, right? That match was really good.
Seems like that'll come back too.
Yeah, it looks like we're circling back around to it, which I'm fine with.
A-okay.
But anyways, I plan on hitting Mike's garage after this, so I think we should probably get started. All right, our first segment every week, you know what it is, because it's the same people listen most weeks, I think. It's some wrestling news and rumors. All right, so ratings are kind of interesting this week because there's just big, significant changes in both for different reasons. I'm wondering if the bubble has burst on the NXT because it was doing great ratings, right?
Well, now that they're back in their usual thing and they're not front-loading it with a bunch of crap.
Right, so that's a little probably more representative. Still pretty good for them, 639,000 viewers, but down 26.9 because they were up over like 800,000.
Feels like what they usually do, or like what they have done. Somewhat regularly.
You're right. And a 0.18 in the key demo, which is down 25%. Head-to-head with American League Championship Series baseball, Yankees Indians. So that's a significant draw probably as well. But yes, definitely sort of down, leveling out, you might say. I don't know. Dynamite. So do you remember their week last week?
No, it wasn't really bad.
It was the worst ever. Yeah, it was like 300 and something because they moved.
That was the Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday right. Wasn't really like they loaded the show. I didn't
Tuesday
feel
at
like
9, yeah.
So it bounced back, right? So 633,000, so almost a tie. NXT won slightly, up 92.4%, and then a 0.20 in the key demo, up 100%. So a solid rebound. Again, record lows last week. So kind of bounced back, and there are very competitive numbers between the two shows that we watch the most regularly. What do you got? Another hasn't been a banner week in news in a while, I feel like.
So since we didn't have it when we were doing our review, I found Meltzer's rating for the triple threat.
Okay.
5.5.
5.5. I went what, 4.5?
I think I went 4 3/4.
Wow, we're harsh, eh?
Yeah, that's good though, because that's some pretty solid praise.
I think you're the same. We have our benchmark of what a 5 is.
Osprey,
and we're not going over 5, right? No. So I'm not that guy.
I feel like maybe one day I might, but
because I think it's stupid. He said that his star ratings could be infinite. So that means there's a universe where Omega Osprey at Forbidden Door is like bad.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah.
So no, that's not a good way to express it.
No, good for them. That's Takesha's
amazing.
Takesha's got a 5-star match, baby.
Yeah, man, that match was crazy. Some of the I know we talked about it, but how clean everything was and how unbelievable athleticism, and then mixed in with power of Takesha
like a monster. Yeah, like it was great. I've watched it I think I watched it like 4 times in the existence.
Does that match make it worth having Ricochet already?
Kinda.
Right? Because we were like, whatever, it's Ricochet.
That and even the Osprey match as well. All his matches have been good. So
right, and now it's looking like maybe him Takeshita,
which I feel like that's a good place to start with Takeshita, whether that's pay per view or not.
Right.
I could say big pay per view.
Me too. What did I have? Steph DeLander underwent neck fusion surgery. That does not sound pleasant.
That's one of the bad ones.
But a few wrestlers have done it and come back. So she posted pictures and stuff, I guess, just recently after it. So hope she gets a fast recovery, but I don't think that's possible. So just a normal, healthy, good, full recovery, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of cool.
WrestleMania no longer a top priority for London, as NFL have expressed interest in bringing the Super Bowl to Wembley. So
yeah.
No, that's
great. Much bigger.
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah. Sports. Look at you reporting on sports.
Not even that. Just WrestleMania in London has no effect on me whatsoever. Because
other than the time, maybe.
I guess, but if we're going to London for a thing, then it's all in.
Fair enough.
Because I haven't forgotten.
Right. Oh yeah. When I retire, is that what it was? Nice. So this I just put in because I think it should be terrible. Did you hear who will be in concert the night of Bound for Glory?
Oh. Is it AJ Francis?
No.
That would have been so funny. Wait, would I know?
It's 2 roster people.
And it's not him?
One makes sense.
Is it anything related to him?
No.
Okay.
Who's always doing concerts?
Hendry?
Correct.
That's not bad.
Who else fancies himself a musician?
I still think it's AJ Francis.
No.
Who else? Kaz?
No.
He's doing like the
similar age bracket.
No, Eric Gallen. I don't know why I was
saying this is fun. No.
Who? Okay, wait. No, I
says
know
he
this.
knows wrestling.
Cardona? No.
No. You're gonna be mad at yourself. This is fun. Literally thinks he's a musician.
Jeff Hardy?
Yeah.
Oh God.
With albums.
Oh no. That's horrible.
So
okay, I might have to actually see that.
I'm gonna double up my news here, and you'll understand why I feel the same. I might need to see it.
That's horrible. Oh, because I've seen him before. I think he returned to TNA, and when he was in the interim between his last AEW appearance, and he always posts reels him singing some song that I'm sure he wrote because it's just horrible.
It's so bad.
It's all. I hate it.
He is the EC3's promos are like Jeff Hardy's music to me. They're super contrived, and you know that the people that wrote them think it's pure genius, and it's drivel. Like that's
It's just
the disconnect is humongous to me. Sorry, the other thing I was going to jump to is also you mentioned to me, so I stole it. Bailey Vikingo.
Yeah,
At Bound
I
for
also
Glory.
have that. Yeah,
So I'll go to my way to see that and check.
yeah, and then to
Henry
piggyback
Hardy.
off of that is they have Rhino and Bob Ryder, whoever that is, going into their Hall of Fame.
Why do I not know who Bob? It's not.
I
a
have no
wrestler.
idea
I think
either.
it's a
No.
dude, but I forget what his
I don't know
involvement
either.
was.
And then they've also signed Casey Navarro, so I guess he'll stick around with AJ Francis.
I'm not a huge fan of
Yeah, I know.
Casey Navarro.
I figured I'd tack that on.
Yeah. The only other thing I have, I think, is I put this in specifically for you because I said you would probably agree. Scott D'Amore on Mauro Ranallo. Quote, I think he's the best play-by-play man in the history of the business.
Absolutely love Morrow.
Yes, you do. That's why I put that in there.
He's the voice of like one of my favorite times in pro
That
wrestling.
era was amazing.
So he will forever be special to me.
And to be fair, he contributed to that with some of his calls,
100%.
Right?
That's why I love Morrow. And Nigel was always great back then too. I do think I enjoy Nigel more now, like in his current.
He's annoying me less because he's
actually like amused me.
Just hating
too.
on Danielson nonstop.
But I'd always love Nigel's like this. He was kind of like the Excalibur of that time.
Yeah.
But I always really love Morrow too. If I know he's listening, because you know
why wouldn't you be?
So I love Morrow, love him dearly. He's
just
my boy.
And
He's my JR because JR
the new
is
guy.
my
What's
boy.
his name? Joe whatever.
Tessitore.
I feel like he's not as good as Morrow, obviously, but he sometimes gets caught up, and you can tell he's just really enjoying what he's seeing.
Morrow was always like he was sometimes over the top, but like he just got into it, dude.
And even all of his ultra hip hop references that I had no idea about.
Morrow.
Yeah, I still think it was cool that he did it.
Yeah,
I
always really loved him. He was great, especially like in matches. Like when I go back and watch, I constantly rewatch the first Cole Gargano match, the 2 3 Falls match, because that's like one of the best matches.
Amazing.
I've ever seen. Again, there's some people are gonna hate all the kick out and whatever, all the crap AEW gets now.
Did you like Drew Punk Hell in a Cell?
Yeah,
that's what I'll ask.
But anyways, that's one of my favorite matches ever, and just Morrow. That's the time when Morrow makes that, because like Gargano's the ultimate babyface, and Morrow's gonna sell the crap out of that. So I'm really glad he's at least doing something in the Maple Leaf, at least, right? So that's
which
a great get for tomorrow.
I'm gonna try to pay for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not sure when I'll be able to watch it.
Because Takeshita 2 nights in a row.
Takeshita Speedball and Takeshita Alexander is insane.
So I know I'm gonna sound like an old man, but I hope I can pay for it and start it when I want. Because I don't know if that's the thing, because it's on Triller or whatever, whatever that is. But anyways,
the last thing I had was spoilers for Collision and Battle of the Belts tomorrow because it's taped. Only because
so many belts change hands.
One of the results is very notable, which comes from Battle of the Belts. We'll get there. So just for Collision, LFI, which is
you don't want spoilers, don't listen.
Rush and Mordos beat the Outrunners, no surprise.
No,
FTR made a save after. But that's good. That's starting building them.
Correct.
Private Party should beat Outrunners. Like, it's not that hard.
No, yes, exactly.
House of Black had an enhancement match, all three of them. Ricochet beat AR Fox. I would like to see that.
That would be a fun match.
We should find that. Ricochet cut a promo on Takeshi after. Yikes. Statlander beat Harley Cameron, challenged Camille to a match, and offered Manea from her seat. Cassidy beat one half of Bear County, the smaller one.
How dare they?
Garcia and Private Party beat Premier Athletes. Jamie Hayter beat Brooke Havoc. Penelope Ford cut a promo on her after, and she's going after Hayter.
Yeah.
Poor Hayter. That's not very big. Fletcher beat Atlantis Jr., and then main event, Packpool retained the trios titles against the Top Flight Boys. And then they got beat down after by Mox and Shafir, and the rest of them. Dark Order also got beaten down. Then for Battle of the Belts, also something worth checking out is Okada beat Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah,
and
it
almost went time. That sounds cool. Murder Machines, as I'll call them. Cage and Archer beat John Cruz and Jack Cartwheel. And then
Jack Cartwheel.
Anna Jay beat May in an eliminator.
Oh, boy.
So.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
I'm going to take issue with that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's first off, having eliminators on a show titled Battle for the Belt is insulting because it's quite literally not a battle for the belt.
It's a battle, but
it's
not
a battle for a battle for the belt. Yeah, like it's so dumb. And then have May lose to Anna Jay.
Yeah,
I would legitimately rather you give Anna Jay a random title shot just so that she doesn't beat May at all.
And then goes right back to the bottom of the line.
That's so dumb.
Yeah,
that's horrible. And I guess it's a follow up from the segment on Dynamite, but that's just stupid.
There's a lot of better options for that spot.
I would like almost all of the better options. Like just So many better
All
options.
the options are better.
So many of the options, except for Saraya or Harley Cameron. That's
Pretty
not.
much.
Doesn't no.
No. That's everything?
Yeah.
All right, let's move into our most in-depth review every week. We're going to look at Wednesday night's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, go ahead. Let's recap some Dynamite. And it starts out pretty eventful, I would say.
So we kick off with our new intro, which is basically just John Moxley saying words in my face.
Yep, doing what he does.
It's basically our intro now, because like we haven't gotten one in weeks, and it's just been
I'm okay with it.
a Blackpool promo. No, I love it. I just think it's funny that it's like a pseudo intro.
It is his company now.
It is.
Don't know how that works exactly, but that's okay.
He has side plates.
Yeah, he's the champ. I guess that's what he's saying.
I actually haven't seen him hold the belt yet, so
yeah.
To say he has side plates, I can't even say with full confidence.
Correct.
But he talks about how there's a lot of wrestlers on the roster who get paid and then end up doing nothing, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
He hates what AEW's become because there's no need for all the dancing and partying. He'll burn down the forest to plan a new one, and do what has to be done because they can see a better future. If you want to come with them, you can. But otherwise, run while you can. The new paradigm is you work for him now. Paradigm's a nice reference.
Yep, for sure.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess.
I love this so much.
Me too. That we put like, so we're not entirely sure what's going on. Even he is kind of being kind
I'm
of
like
specific.
mostly sure, but
right.
Like you can get where it's going.
It
but
seems like
nothing's for sure.
The idea is this is what Blackpool was supposed to do, and then they sort of lost sight of that, and he's saying Danielson pulled them from that this is
and
what...
he's doing this for everyone's betterment.
Right. And so we talked about it, we are related after all, so we seem to have similar tastes on stuff like this.
Weird.
But the overall tone of it is just like appeals to me on whatever level, right? The music underneath it, the choice to be in the back of a pickup truck, right? Like just a totally different place to be. It feels really fresh and interesting, and I hope it kind of continues, and that because he's giving us enough information to keep me interested, but not revealing everything, right?
He's perfectly like leading you on.
Right. So I really enjoyed this, and I know
Yeah.
you did too.
Yeah, I really liked it. And when he was talking about people getting paid to do nothing and given the size of the roster, he's right. And if they use this story to actually bring about change in AEW, I think it could be really smart. Like start using guys better and like balance things, hopefully.
And in kayfabe world, it's not the fault of the writers. You know what I mean? That
these guys are complacent or like goofing around too much,
which
is
good. It's not that they don't have anything for you.
It works either way, right? WCW. At like 2000, it's going to be Russo's doing the shoot, and it's like, it is the fault of the writers, you know what I mean?
Well, Andy could even say, like, so what if people aren't writing stuff for you, then you got to get in their face and pitch something, or you know what I mean? So either way,
that's
like
something that they would do in
don't
WCW
be lazy
for sure.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I love these segments. The way they're shot, the music, the tone's great, like you're saying. All those, I just like visually, it's just a great piece every time. Mox's delivery is great. His motivations make sense. Since in his eyes, a lot of the rosters become weak, which from a certain point of view is fair, which is what you want for a heel, not to be 100% right like Drew McIntyre,
yes,
but to be understandably right but not justified.
Exactly.
Which is the perfect spot I find Blackpool to be in right now.
From their perspective, they're making sense.
They're right. It does make sense.
Yeah.
It's just not the undisputed right way to think, and it's also not justifying strangling a man with a plastic bag.
Maybe, yeah.
For the second consecutive month.
Right. Or hanging somebody later.
Right. And yeah, not everyone's taking their work seriously. AEW is supposed to be where the best wrestle, and they can. Like, he was even saying like they can be who they want, but a lot of them are just sitting back. And so I like this because it is, I guess, supposed to be, or it's what Blackpool's originally supposed to be. And I think the thing is, and we kind of see it, they're bullying everybody, basically forcing them to step up and become better. And I feel like that's the angle we're going to approach with Darby, where like it could be kind of a Crow Sting thing where he's going to sit back and watch.
Yes.
And then like enough is enough. He is going to get fired up and like become better, step up to Mox. And I think inevitably he's the one to take the title from Moxley.
Too. We've been saying that for weeks.
I think that's a great way to go.
Yep.
These expertly walk the line, like you said, between informing us and leaving us in the dark.
Yes.
So I really like this, but then we're going to do a 180. So we
that's
hear
what
from Adam Cole.
That's right. There was some notable stuff this week. Good and not.
Yeah.
Yes. Adam Cole, who you are on record a huge fan of Adam Cole.
Probably one of my favorite wrestlers ever.
Right.
I think he's awesome. I was literally just saying, like, that match with Gargano, one of my favorite matches of all time. He's one of my favorites. And if you want to talk about that peak era of NXT, he's right there.
So this is just further evidence as we get into this, that this podcast, we just tell you how we feel regardless of...
Yeah, and it's no follow Cole, as we'll talk about.
Yes.
Because I think regardless... like,
unless he asked for this, but I can't imagine he's smart.
And I'll talk about it later, but on face value, it's a good Adam Cole promo. Like, on face value. If you ignore everything else, it's a good Adam Cole promo. You know what I mean?
I said that both of these guys are great.
Right. And so we'll talk about that.
Yep.
But like on service value, still a good promo from Cole. But he says he loves his friends, referring to the Undisputed Kingdom, but he has to do this on his own. And I wrote, he immediately addressed them only for it to be completely brushing them away in a lazy one line, as if the group wasn't dead in the water already.
I have, quote, "Here's why I'm not in the group anymore," and suddenly babyface, unquote.
Yeah. And this... like, not only that, but so your leader stitched you, and then your big muscle, who shall remain nameless lest we summon him, is also absent.
Yep.
That might be a positive, though.
I think it is.
We'll see. I think it's a positive, but if you want to look at the status of the group, them just dropping a member randomly, it's not good.
True.
So, like, in a general sense, it's not good, but in a specific sense, because
For
it's
us,
him,
it's good.
It is a good thing.
Correct.
So then they just need to drop the other two. And the group can just be Roddy.
I'm on. Exactly. He is the coolest one.
Cole wants to talk about the worst person in this company, MGF.
I do have one note that simply says MGF on it.
That's
I have a couple random. Remember this one? My note says, one guy does want to hear about it, Adam.
Yeah, he said, like, he was talking about something with MJF earlier, and he's like, no, he wants to hear about that. And then some guy shouts, like, I do, Adam. And it's just one of those.
You can clearly hear one guy like, I want to hear about it.
It's really funny. After years of seeing him be this way, the only thing Cole can say is MJF's fake. He makes a joke about his hair.
His hair plugs, like hair 2 surgeries to get the hair he has, which is funny. Whether it's true or not, it's
not the first time.
His hair does look fuller.
I'm starting to think it is, because this is not the first time it's come up. There's no way it's fake. Or that's the accusations are fake.
Gotcha.
The hair is fake, which is the point of said accusations.
Right.
He said MJF will act all tough and stoic on social media when fans insult him, but he'll cry in his hotel room. That makes me think there were some dark days during their friendship where he's like consoling MJF in a hotel room. And
then he starts begging people to cyberbully. Please cyberbully MJF as my next note. Right? Like he's literally saying if everybody right now dropped what they were doing and cyberbullied him, he would be upset about it.
That would make more sense if Cole was still the devil.
It was strange, yeah.
If Cole was the devil, it would work.
I agree.
Though. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, that's right. He was the devil, for goodness sake. And now it's like...
he said this place is the best talent roster in the world, and there are a lot of hungry people who are ready to go around someone like MJF. He'll act like he's someone special, but the reality is everyone, including Cole, hates him. Cole hates everything about him, including his stupid face, so he tells MJF to get out here so they can fight. MJF's music plays, but then he comes on the screen to say, and he's saying he's a multimillionaire at 28, but he knows what it's like to be alone. Cole tried to be his friend, and he took it away, and now Cole's never going to get his revenge. MJF will always dangle the carrot of revenge, and Cole can thank him for everything later, and Cole swears vengeance anyways.
Yeah, so I said both of these guys are great and convincing on the mic and can act, but they were set up to fail here, right? They're just, it's complete 180s of where they were the last they interacted. And it's just like, we're both completely different people now. And we're going to revise history somehow and try and make this work. And it's just not, I don't care. And I don't know what they can do to make me care. And I didn't want to say a lot because I know you have a lot that I'm just going to mostly agree with.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
They can't do it. The one other note I had was, quote, fight evil with evil. So Cole has justified himself.
Right. So that was me going, so was he pretending to be evil, and because MJF was really evil then?
MJF being such a scumbag justified him turning heel, and
or
therefore
now,
he's still the hero, even though he turned heel.
None of it works.
I love Cole. I love him dearly. One of my favorite wrestlers probably ever. But I can't get behind this. The promo itself, like I said, is perfectly good on face value. Cole's a great talker, healer, face, and he delivered all this well. He sounded good. Like, again, on face value, nothing wrong with this.
He can actually act.
Yeah, like he's great, and so can MJF. However, that's not the issue. The issue is the gigantic continuity error.
Will Washington.
Will Washington. Help me.
Actually, Will Washington this time.
Yeah.
We say his name anytime in any federation in any capacity. There's inconsistency, but this time we actually...
This time I mean Will Washington.
Yes, speak specifically Will Washington.
I don't think, like we said it before, no one invokes Will Washington more than us.
No, and that's... Of our few listeners, hopefully people remember what we're actually talking about.
Yeah, that's
okay.
True.
We know. We're here to amuse ourselves.
I'd love to meet Will Washington. I have some questions for him.
I'm here to have fun, and if it happens to amuse anyone else, then cool.
Yeah. Cole turned heel on MJF. We watched this happen.
I did.
He formed a faction out of it.
I remember this.
We watched this happen.
I don't remember anything. I remember all this.
Since then, in Cole's absence after jumping off a stage and burning his ankle alive or something.
Yes.
Since then, MJF has turned heel again. Now everything's out of balance. Like, there's just, it's so, like, it's so dumb. Well, I'll keep going, but Cole spoke with conviction, but he should not be the babyface here. To say MJF is such a heel, Cole had to out-heel him, and that's him doing the right thing. It almost works because MJF's such a scumbag, but it doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't.
It still doesn't.
Because, like, MJF actually did change for the better, so then Cole's an asshole for ruining that. Because if MJF, because MJF's saying he was like, he finally trusted someone, and after never having friends, and you can't trust anyone in this business, so when he trusted Cole is a big deal. And now if MJF causes all this chaos, right, like you said, it's Cole's fault. Yeah. MJF's right.
Yeah, I know.
In a way, like it's a bit of a villain origin story, but he's also right. Like Cole changed him for the better, and then he's the asshole for ruining it.
That's
like
right.
So Cole is wrong here, and like Cole doesn't really have a reason to hate him much because wasn't the whole point he wanted the title, and now he's not going after the title here. Like if Cole is working with heel logic, he could have gone with his original devil motif. But again, the dynamics out of place. The devil thing's completely out the window, so it doesn't work. Like MJF's the mega heel, and I agree with him. Like he's talking about how you can't trust anyone, and Cole was like his one actual friend, and he trusted him, and that one's like MJF's right. And like he talked about how Cole is cheered, and he's right in saying that Cole shouldn't be cheered here. Like that makes sense. Both of these guys are great all around. Like they're in a can't win scenario. Like. Mm-hmm. It was perfectly fine for them to when MJF came back as a babyface and Cole cut the promo at Double Nothing as a heel. MJF hit him with the brainbuster. That could have been the write-off.
Yes.
If you knew, because that was in what, like May, I think.
Yeah.
That was in like May, and obviously Cole is just coming back now, fully healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they knew Cole wasn't gonna be around for a while, and they probably like I guess you have to plan things in advance. They likely knew at that point they were gonna turn MJF heel again, right?
Yeah.
If you knew that was the perfect way to just write this off, because I think the injury to Cole really killed the story, right?
Oh, 100%.
So I think that was like a perfectly fine write-off to like at least get some sort of definitive conclusion to it, and then write everything off. If MJF had stayed babyface the whole time, there's no problem. Cole can come back as heel and attack it. MJF, kind of like how Ciampa came back from injury and beat up Gargano, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to come back as a babyface.
No.
So because they turned MJF heel, and like it doesn't work.
No.
And now not only is there the giant continuity error of this feud being messed up, but then Cole's ignoring this group that he started.
He just like, yep, see, I got to do this on my own. That's literally.
It's like when remember MJF came back and won the casino ladder match.
Yeah.
And he formed the firm and then ditched it.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes.
It's the exact, like, what is with that?
So either way, you were going to drop something and forget about it. It should have been dropping the MJF story.
Absolutely.
Because now you have two guys that are really good
doing
something in a thing that I'm going to really not care
never
about.
Never going to work. Yeah.
The and probably might not be super quick either.
Doesn't seem like it. The disconnect in logic disconnects me from this. Their lazy excuses don't cover the massive retconning they're attempting here. Mm-hmm. Revisiting this was a mistake because, like I said, they had a completely fine exit point and they should have jumped out while they still could.
Yeah, I don't know whose idea this was. Yeah. Not good.
No, Will Washington.
Should have gotten involved.
Yeah. Then we get a Jericho interview from Wrestle Dream like after his match. He says he feels vindicated after the match. He talks about co-starring in Terrifier 3. Don't care. And he was going to become ROH champion again, but Briscoe cheated to win. He says he wants a rematch soon. He waits to Mark's reply and he'll become a 2-time champ like Jay Briscoe. This was fine. I don't need a rematch ever, and I don't care about the movie he's in.
He was almost playing it straight here though, right?
Yeah, I
like
don't
it
care.
Definitely wasn't the learning tree stuff anymore. So my point is he's been like inconsistent the last 3 or 4
Remember
weeks.
that was his thing for a while, being inconsistent.
This was he was super serious for a little bit a couple weeks ago. He's been the super hammy learning tree. Now it's like, I don't know. But anyways, I was hoping we were done with this, but then it's like, that's dumb because Jericho programs, like we always talk about,
Jericho is allergic to a one-match program.
Right. So and we'll talk about it later because he does get his way. So all you have to do, the heels should be lining up to say Jay Briscoe's name right now, right? Because as long as you say his name, you get a title shot against Briscoe.
But Mark Briscoe has something protecting him. His belt means jack all.
Yes. So it's just, you said my brother's name, so we're going to fight again.
And we need to... Heels should be campaigning to help Mark Briscoe win this title, the AEW title, and then they can piss him off over a belt worth fighting for.
Right.
Then we get a Briscoe interview, and he's mad about Jericho bringing up Jay's name, and he accepts the challenge, but it's going to be a ladder war.
Yes.
Enjoyable Briscoe promo as usual, is back to some of his usual energy. Again, don't need a rematch, but at least the ladder match stipulation may help, and it's not taking up a pay-per-view slot, so...
It might, and like we just watched them wrestle, and the match was... Fine, as we would say, right? So...
But my least favorite on the show.
No way it needed to be run back with a stipulation, but yeah, it might help, I guess.
At least it's not taking up another pay-per-view spot.
True.
Like, they could have easily stretched this to full gear, and thankfully they did not.
Silver linings.
Exactly. Then we get FTR versus the Learning Tree. I don't know why. Because I guess they're both affiliated with Jericho and Briscoe.
It is still weird to me that FTR and Briscoe are affiliated after they just tried to kill each other for a couple matches.
That was almost 2 years ago, pal.
I know. And there was a death, so
yeah, that's
everyone softens.
Mainly it.
Mm-hmm.
Gigantic black hole slam from Bill Cash. Really does a really mean black hole slam.
They call it a boss man slam all the time, which it's not.
Yeah, his wasn't as good. Boss man didn't do very good.
He didn't do. His was a side slam with a little bit of extra stank on it, but nothing crazy.
His was even more like a falling STO or something.
Right.
Dax gets a hot tag flurry. Pretty nice combination from the Learning Tree. There was Diamond Dust from Keith, and then Bill nailed Dax with a big boot.
I specifically made note of that combination. I think it looks good.
It was pretty coal. Cash sent Bill in ring post, a tornado DT on the floor, and a smash contraption gets the win for FTR. And then Outrunners come out for some shenanigans, which was enjoyable.
That's what I said. Like, the Outrunners are somehow charming, right? Like, just
I enjoy it. I can't lie. It's stupid, but I like it.
They're getting the most out of that gimmick, and I don't know what the shelf life is, but like they're smart to sort of strike because people love them right now, right? So
I can't lie. I enjoy them, even though I think it's dumb.
So this was a really quick match. I mention it later. This was a lot of like 8-minute matches with a 3-minute commercial break. So it's hard to get too hyped about any of them. But
I just like my automatic default thing with Learning Tree is nah.
Yeah. And I do think Bill and Keith have potential as a team. I like the big little combination.
Because I do like them in ring. It's just the gimmick that they're saddled under is going to make me not want to see them.
My phrasing was, too bad they're strapped to Jericho, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because Keith, I forget now. I actually
cool.
do enjoy him.
Me too.
But I hate him so much as a character. Like, it overshadows anything I used to like about him.
So, yeah, this was nothing really.
It was fine. Not an overly interesting tag match, and it felt pretty short. FTR customarily good, and Jericho's boys had a solid showing. Didn't feel like a lot happened, and it didn't have much of a purpose. The most enjoyable part was the post-match, which also had no purpose, but at least it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get the Acclaimed interview. Billy Gunn leaves to start up the car or whatever. They're ready for more. They're coming off a win, so they want gold or something. MVP and Shelton Benjamin come in. MVP offers them a business card with Bowens saying they don't need anything from them. And then credit to Hall from 411 Mania, because I borrowed the notes from him.
Yep.
He picked up on Caster slipping the card into his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
So that could tease a split if they don't both go heel.
Then that's what we've sort of been saying. I feel like that's been
right. I feel like it's not the first time it's been breadcrumbed.
Right. Because ever since Caster calling himself, what is it, the best wrestler in the world or whatever he's doing?
Alive.
So that's kind of... Anyways... I think the Acclaimed are an obvious choice for MVP to approach. They
why?
I just feel like there's that. They are black, so that's if they're going up WWE route.
Even though we're making fun of the trope, I do kind of find it amusing that MVP's going around just recruiting like basically any black talent worth anything.
Right.
It's kind of like it's not like it's desperate, but I like that he's like casting a wide net just to try to get some. So like he's going for everyone that he thinks is successful, because obviously he's not going for guys like the infantry or something.
Yes.
No offense to Sean Dean. But like I like that he's just kind of going wherever, and like whoever he can get, he's gonna take them and mold them. But
That's
like,
right.
I like these kind of going around, kind of like a Heenan type thing, or like when Jimmy Hart managed half of the roster.
So I told you I thought it'd be cool if Lashley has to show up, which I don't want him to. He goes after like Billy Gunn and takes him out, and it turns out like the Acclaimed round out MVP stable and maybe turn on.
And Billy Gunn can retire, because I was gonna say he can
I'm
go back
okay
with his
with-
kids, but no, because if Billy Gunn is anywhere near Bullet
I
Club
know.
Gold again, I will lose my crap.
I'd be okay with heel Acclaimed again. I think they've
I
kind
forgot
of,
they were. Yeah, they were. Fun.
they've
That was
worn
Buck
out-
Hunt.
they've worn out for me.
That was Buck Hunt.
Oh, Buck Hunt was amazing.
Buck Hunt was heel.
An
I
all
think.
timer. That's an all timer.
That is an all timer.
I love that. But yeah, okay. So it may be a bit of dissension or something brewing with Acclaimed, which I'm fine with too. They need a shake up for me somehow.
That's fair. Then we go to Mercedes Moné versus Queen Aminata. Hey, if he needs female contingents, he can go for
Aminata's
Aminata
cool.
for the TBS title, because Aminata stood up for backstage workers at Wrestle
That's right.
Dream.
I did see that clip.
For
was
some
mean.
reason, I thought there was something more to this, even though
No.
like I know there wasn't a lot, but that's just dumb.
Monet was mean girling it, and Aminata. It might have been on 0 Hour.
Or something
I feel like
that,
I saw it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems dumb to me. Fallaway slam from Aminata. Monet hits a basement Meteora.
Take a drink. Our game is you take a shot. Well, obviously
Yeah.
not for real, but every time there's a Meteora. I set the over under at 3.5.
It was 3.
So bet the under.
Mm.
3 of the same move in a match, people. 3
in
of
a
the
short
same-
match, no
by
less.
the same person in a short match.
Yeah. It's all about circumstance, because you could hit the move 3 times. Like, Cody has to mandatorily hit 3 crossroads.
Because he has the weakest finisher ever. It takes
He
at
has-
least 3
Yeah, the weakest finisher to me. If you need 3, your finisher to beat Solo Sikoa.
every time.
If you need it for Solo Sikoa, I think you're doing it wrong.
Yes,
Jacob Fatu, sure. Roman
you
Reigns,
need 20
sure. But if you need 3 for Solo, I feel like you're doing something wrong.
probably.
Maybe just go with a good old DDT.
Yeah.
But yeah, Meteor against the stairs from Monet. Basement Meteor in the corner following a commercial break. Or sorry, it was during the commercial break. Quick fisherman neckbreaker from Aminata for 2. Really nice snap on that. Middle rope what? Meteora from Monet.
There it is.
And backstabber from Monet. Then she submits Aminata to the bank statement.
Yeah, Aminata, I don't know if you mentioned it. She had that cool looking submission at one
Yeah,
point.
I was going to talk about it here because I really know how to.
Where you're kind of
But,
like,
like, yeah,
how,
she had
how do
her-
you get out of that?
Arms tied up with. So she had Monet's arms tied up using her legs, and then Monet's like bent so far she's basically like seated, but like her face is touching the mat. It was pretty
It
crazy.
looked really good.
Like it looked super cool. Aminata got a
She
solid
released
showing
it,
for what
didn't
this
she?
was. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then she did that stupid roll around pin that I hate.
yeah.
Monet was solid, but seeing as this match wasn't long, as half of her offense was so for Meteora, and we panicked when we thought she was going for the Money Maker.
Yes, we did, because it never goes
The worst
well.
finisher known to man. But thankfully she won the submission road again, and I wish this had been built a little. But in ring it was solid.
Yeah, I think Aminata looks really cool delivering offense, but I would suggest the other areas still need some work, but I do like her and think she's cool. Yeah, nothing special. Aminata got a lot of stuff in, I thought, and Monet got some meteors in, as you said. So this was yet again 8-minute match with a 3-minute commercial, right? So you're giving us a 5-minute match, so it's tough to get super excited about it, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm. Then we get a interview with Private Party. They want to talk to the Bucks, and they want another title shot. The Bucks say they did get taken to the limit, but that was their last shot. The Bucks leave, so Hathaway comes in saying the team has been here since the Obama administration and never got anywhere. If they lose next time, they should split up, because Cassie's a single star anyways.
Yeah, that's another
Yeah.
sort of...
So I thought it was fine, but my thing was that it doesn't make sense logically, because like Zay even said himself the Bucks won fair and square, so just coming in asking for a title shot seems kind of foolish to me.
That's funny.
Like book a contenders match and have them enter, and I want them to have another shot, but be smart about it, which is what we said was the issue with the first match.
They didn't do a lot to earn the first one and lost clean.
Yeah,
And I had the same note. They admitted themselves it was fair and square.
So I didn't love that. Nick saying that doesn't work for us, brother, was pretty funny.
So it was my favorite Young Bucks good cop bad cop interaction to this point. You know how they always do that? That Matt sounds understanding, whatever, and then Nick's like, nope. Like,
yeah, that was pretty funny. And I thought maybe Stokely's the catalyst for them winning the titles. I'm not sure if we need to go that route, but like I'm not surprised they're teasing a split, but I don't think it bodes well for them because I don't see them doing very much on their own. And I also don't think they've reached their potential as a team. So I think if we're teasing splits for the Acclaimed or them, it should be the Acclaimed.
Excuse me.
Because I don't think Private Party should split. I think it would go as well as the split for Best Friends has. And I say, where's Trent?
I agree, but I felt like that match was a huge showcase for Zay.
I don't disagree. I just think it's not their way to go.
No, I don't think so either. And I liked Stokely here. I kind of like when he's more serious like this, and like
he was kind of right because that might provide them with a shot at the arm they need.
And then that motivation. He either is trying to drive a wedge or he's trying to light a fire under them or whatever. So I thought that was fine.
Yeah. Then we get a follow-up promo from the Elite. They talk about how important today is the history of AEW because it's Kenny Omega's birthday, and even though he had a bunch of his intestines taken out, which that's just disgusting.
Yeah, that's great. They have a cake specific for him. Measurement. I forget what it was.
And then they pour a bunch of fake intestines on the cake, or that was Perry. Actually,
it's like raw meat or whatever.
He said, "Get well soon, Kenny, or die." I don't care, which was pretty harsh.
Yeah.
And Okada said, "Happy birthday, bitch."
So we've had some references to Kenny in the last couple of weeks. Is he close to coming back or something?
Has to be, right, between this and the Dynamite anniversary. So I like this. Perry just like. Perry was enjoyable here. The raw meat and then just telling him he can die
it was good.
Is excessive. Okada never fails to make me chuckle, and keeping Omega in our minds, it has to be strategic, right?
Yeah, they came up with like an entertaining way to like get Omega back in the forefront.
So I think I don't know how overly soon it is because I haven't seen much, but it can't be too far away. Like they're starting to breadcrumb it, which I think is kind of smart.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the Hogan of the. I was saying he's the Hogan of the new NWO and.
I wonder if he is going to end up joining them. That'd be interesting.
It would be.
I can't imagine he does because they kind of with the way they wrote him off. But
and he's not that style either. But I guess he could.
You never know.
Yeah,
he could be the fifth man.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you know DDT Pro, the promotion that where Takeshita hails from, they have 10-man tag titles?
That's crazy.
I know. That's like
so. Let's hold on. Now I'm extrapolating in my mind. How do you have a division? Like, if you have 3 teams, you have 30 dudes on your roster?
No, that'd be 15.
Or sorry, 15. Yeah, like, think about that. You barely, like, they're not the WWE. They barely have.
Yeah, so.
That's crazy.
I know. I just saw that. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Well, because the 6-man tag title is already a dumb name. Trios belt's like a.
Trios is cool.
I'm saying if you had 8-man tag titles, like.
Octobelt.
Where do we go here?
Yeah.
Like. You know, it doesn't work. Then we get the Conglomeration versus the Elite. The Conglomeration is made up of Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Azucar.
Yeah,
Rocky Romero.
My favorite.
My favorite pro wrestler.
Yes.
Kyle O'Reilly hot tag flurry comes in. I guess their air raid crash neckbreaker from Okada to Kyle O'Reilly for 2. So I guess this is between this and there was some other segment I didn't see that's setting up the aforementioned Battle for the Belts match.
Mm-hmm.
The only battle for the belt on Battle for the Belts. Right. Repeated running clotheslines to the Bucks from Rocky. Okada counters a slice bed from Rocky into a tombstone, which I thought was pretty cool. Cassie hits a double hurricane run of the Bucks, then him and Kyle O'Reilly hit their like Stun Dog Millionaire KTFO combo, and then to Okada, and then also the total elimination. Matt hits a DDT to Rocky, then Cassie hits him with a Tilt-A-Whirl DDT. The finish comes when Cassie gears up for the Orange Punch. Wheeler Yuta runs in with the Psycho Knee for the DQ finish. Cassie and Kyle O'Reilly get beat down further. The Elite leave and watch from the ramp. Top Flight come in. They all get obliterated. Dante got shocked by Claudio, which I thought was funny. And Mox, like, Andretti goes for some elaborate springboard thing. Mox just shuts him down with a forearm to the back of the head. Death Rider to Darius. Dark Order run down. They try to make the save. They get taken care of as well. Shafir uses a belt to choke Reynolds against the ring post. Mox says if you're involved in AEW...
I thought he was Statlander.
Yeah. You're under attack. Claudio and Yuta ran the steps into Reynolds, and Mox says if you didn't like what happened on Saturday, you have to understand this is the cost of doing business.
Yeah, I thought that, first of all, the match was a good trios match while it lasted.
Yeah,
but it
love me a good trios match on Dynamite, obviously.
Clearly wasn't the point of
Conglomeration's a fun group because everyone in there is good in ring, and they usually change up not the conglomeration, but the combination of the conglomeration. Yes. So I always enjoy them.
And so Orange Cassidy is kind of a logical target for Mox if he's looking to take down AEW because he is one of the
and they have history from last year. So not only is it personal, but it also is good for targeting people key to AEW.
But commentary tried a little too hard, right? And went a little bit too far with this for me. Just kind of
Shivani was trying too hard with that because I feel like most people will remember the title run he had. Like,
yes,
he
like,
is
just let it
essential,
breathe a
but
little.
don't need to say like he's a leader or whatever, because I don't think that's ever been the case.
And didn't he try to imply there was a whole bunch
Something.
of history there? And
Or he was also trying to say like he was a supporter of Danielson or something along those lines. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
because you were asking.
I don't know if they've ever interacted.
Right. So yeah, I don't understand
Yeah.
fully.
But so I like the match. Colorado and Cassie seem to work really well together. I think there's money in a tag run if they wanted to. The Elite are always solid, never any complaints in ring when it comes to the Bucks or Okada. Not a big fan of DQ finishes, but at the same time, I love what they're doing with Blackpool. They look absolutely killer here. Even Shafir getting in on the beatdown with everybody. Top Flight and Friends got murdered, and Reynolds also took a notable beating. Blackpool look vicious here, and I like that. This is them when they aren't being held back by Danielson's weakness, is whatever you want to call it.
Patience.
And this is how they're going to instill change, and I think it makes sense. Because beatdowns like this is terrorizing the roster, right? And eventually, like, we'll see it later on, and I'll talk about that, but it's going to force people to step up and, like, take charge and start acting and not be sitting on their asses like Mox is saying, and, like, do something and put a stop to Blackpool, which, in the end, I feel like is kind of what Mox wants, right? Because he said he doesn't like how AEW is right now, so getting these guys to step up and take initiative and, like, start being vocal and fighting is going to make AEW better, right? So I think in a way, like we said before, he is right. Yeah. It's just his way of going about it is not morally right.
And it's giving a whole bunch of people that they sometimes struggle to have any meaningful stuff to do.
Which is one of Mox's points as well, right? So again, he's right.
Sure, they're all going to get killed by them, but
yeah,
the fact is they're involved in a storyline with the main faction on the show.
The world champion. And the Trios champions.
And it does feel like NWO to me with the modern twist, but like, and I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying like early NWO where things were really interesting, and it was just this destructive force shows up and just starts running roughshod over a company. And like for them, it was also the added of who's joining. And yes, that went way too far. But in the beginning, it was really cool to think like, oh, now they've got this guy. Even they did have some like marginal guys that weren't amazing.
Right.
But, and then I also kind of like that the Elite are stuck in between, right? They're heels, but they either don't want to stand up to Mox's group or like they don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like
I think it's a bit of both.
So I like that though.
I also like that because why should they get involved?
And then I don't know, is there a possibility the Elite, because I'm worried, like not worried, but the Elite try and turn face because they want to be involved in this story.
I don't think so. I feel like they're going to stay out of it. But I like this because, again, the heel logic Mox, he's right that like this is going to instill probably a positive change and make people better, but it still, again, doesn't justify beating the tar of the roster and choking a bunch of people, right?
Yes.
But I really like it. And I think what I said about Cassie being first up for Mox is being built here. Like, this is the start of it. I feel like that's the only reason you instill them in this match.
Yeah.
Right? And so I like that because I think Shivani sold it too much, but I think Cassie's a great choice for Mox's first challenger because I don't think he's going to win the title, but he's credible enough. I think he's definitely gotten to the point where I can say he's a credible world title challenger.
Yeah.
He's got history with Mox, and he's also essential to AEW, so it makes all the sense in the world, really.
I agree.
So I really like that. Clearly, he's the first to step up, and I think it'll be like the first in like Mox is inspiring these, not even like, I guess, kind of originals to step up to him. Like, it'll be guys like Cassidy and Darby and I guess not Guevara because he's out, and Perry's not one, MJF isn't. But like you can find guys, right?
Yep.
And so I do enjoy that, and I think Mox Cassie will be sweet.
Me too.
Because they've had great matches before.
Yep. I mean, you know who's winning, but I'm still interested in the story. So.
Yeah, and I think again because I think the end game is Darby. Cassie's never going to win. The point is we need a good challenger for Mox that fits the story. Cassie's perfect for that spot.
I agree.
You could even get a couple matches out of it if you really wanted to. But personally, if I'm me and Mox is like inspiring most of the roster, I'd like for him to face as many people as possible in however long he's holding the belt for. Yeah. Again, hope it's a few months.
Yep.
Then we get an Elite interview as they're kind of walking out. Matt says whatever happened is none of their business, which I kind of like. Makes perfect sense for them to stay out of this. Garcia comes in with Private Party and asks if they're going to let that happen, and he gets in Perry's face, kind of a follow-up from the Wrestle Dream interaction, and the Elite leave. Garcia says he has Private Party's back if they have his, so kind of some alliances forming in the wake of this, which is also good because that's forcing people to step up, and so I like that. This is fine. It was quick. It furthers Perry versus Garcia, which is good. Gets Garcia involved in things, which is good.
It did a lot.
That's all important. If they want to build Garcia as the star they see that they've been stopped starting for a while. It's important for him to be in this. So regardless of how I've been feeling about him lately, it's important that he's here.
He can be the young guy taking initiative to rally some of the other young guys.
Which again, I keep saying it, but that means Mox is right. Again, not morally right, but he's right in that it's going to bring change. And so again, already it's happening.
This young alliance is going to get destroyed, but it's a starting point, right? And I thought Garcia sounded really good here. And it's
good for Private Party to be here since they've been originals and they're young.
And again, I think the Bucks or the Elite are getting across here that they're a little bit confused about what they should do with this group and everything going around. Because they're in charge, right? So
yeah, they are in charge, but then obviously remember there's the weird power balance with not even Khan. But like him and Christopher Daniels.
Yes, so there's all kinds of layers of leadership here.
It is odd. Then we get a recap of the Swerve MVP segment from WrestleDream, which rolls us right into Shelton Benjamin versus Lio Rush. New theme and everything for Shelton, obviously.
He looks incredible.
He looks great for I think he's pushing 50 almost.
He looks crazy.
I want to say I think I saw I want to say he's 47, really getting up there. Getting extremely oldest fart in all the land.
49. Take that.
Well,
born in 75. What an old man.
What an old fart.
Yeah, man. He looks incredible.
He looks great, dude. He obviously looks older than his Ruthless Aggression days, but I would say since he came back to WWE in I want to say roughly 2017, he hasn't
he looks 35.
He hasn't. Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
Shelton blocks a suicide dive from. I almost did. I told you it was gonna happen. I didn't even write his name here. He blocks a suicide dive with he steps up to the apron, hits his step up knee that he always does in the corner.
Yeah.
He kind of slipped after, but honestly, I can't fault him for that because it was cool that he got up there to do that.
I know.
So I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Rush gets whipped hard in the corner. He goes between the ropes and out of the ring. That looked pretty nuts. I was
what are you doing, Leo? It looked crazy.
Couple Lope suicide dives from Rush. He's coming at him really fast. And he
made a smack on each of them. Yeah,
really, really good suicide dives there. Cutter from Rush. He goes to the final hour. Shelton moves, hits his heel kick move he always does. The one where they catch his boot and then he kind of spins around and heel kicks him. Roll up, roll through Enziguri, followed by a crazy tilt-a-whirl DDT for 2 from Rush. Benjamin meets Rush on the top rope and hits what looked kind of like an avalanche hip toss kind of deal.
Looked good.
A gnarly release German from Shelton just absolutely chucks him across the ring. Then he hits another release German, chucks him again, and then just decapitates him with a super kick. Wicked looking. It was pretty crazy. And then Nigel's line that I really liked was Shelton kicked him in the back of the head, but his face got in the way, which I really like. Nigel's been getting me sometimes, not gonna lie. Pop-up flatliner from Shelton, kind of like a pay dirt kind of thing. Yeah, it was okay. Didn't get all of it.
No.
Then he finishes with the classic T-bone suplex to pick up the win there. MVP speaks briefly. He says he wants to keep this going with Swerve Strickland. Swerve's house chants ring out, and MVP asks how this can be Swerve's house when his house is burnt to the ground. And I can't remember if the challenge for the match was made here or in Swerve's match, but
don't remember.
It's coming.
Good showing for both men. Quality win for Benjamin in his debut. He looked down the final stretch. He looked crazy aggressive, and I
didn't look any worse than he's ever looked.
So if I have to fantasy book, I'm saying don't just copy and paste WWE stuff. If Lashley shows up and you want to run this group back, Shelton's the centerpiece, and Lashley can be the supporting monster.
That'll never happen, but I'd love it.
Me too. I would prefer that, but
I think Shelton's great.
And seeing Benjamin look this good does get me kind of looking forward to Swerve Shelton, right?
Absolutely.
That should be a cool match.
That should be awesome.
And hey, man, Lio Rush is really cool too.
I thought he's also a really great opponent choice here too because he's fast and he's entertaining to watch. And again, because he's so small and he sells good,
gigantic.
Shelton looked like a monster. Yes. So he looked like a beast. I thought it was awesome. The size comparison really helped. He chucked him around and murdered him with a super kick.
I really like Lio Rush.
Shelty B ain't lost a step. I thought he looked really good here. I hope he continues to do well. Hurt Syndicate was on his trunk, so that seems to be official if it wasn't already. MVP also put his business card in Rush's belt after the match when he's laying down. So I thought that was funny. Always, again, he's always keeping it open, right? I like that. It's
if you knock on enough doors, somebody will open them.
Aleister Black.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody will knock on his door.
No one knocks on his door. If you knock on enough doors, someone will answer. If you wait for someone to knock on your door, no one's going to knock.
That's right.
But yeah, Shelton versus Swerve sounds awesome. We get a quick Swerve interview afterwards. He says he's ready for Shelton anytime, and Shelton broke a lot of records in college wrestling, but he breaks bones. It was solid promo from Swerve. I'm super pumped for that match. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, me too. It was pretty quick. So
But it was a good follow-up.
Yeah.
Quick. Then we get Don Callis having a press conference. Callis comes out with Brian Cage and Walmart Drew McIntyre,
That's
aka
funny.
Lance Archer. He mentions making the trade for Archer and then Cage bringing the ROH TV title back to the Callis family. And then he talks about getting a taste for the tag titles during Grand Slam. He wants them. So Cage and Archer are going to be ones to bring them to the family, which is absurd. Callis introduces Takeshita and Fletcher next. They both come out to Takesha's music. Callis says Takeshita will be a true international champion and go around the world defending the title. His first defense is here for D'Amore's promotions. That's pretty cool. Against Josh Alexander. That's absurd to
awesome.
me.
That's one of the reasons I'm going to pay.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Takeshita then cuts a promo in Japanese before daring anyone who wants the title to come and take it. And I just like to say, it's so weird to see him with the belt. Like it makes me so
cool.
happy, but it's just like
it's a nice looking belt too. Actually,
it's a really pretty belt. But like it just feels like I've been asking for it for so long, and it's weird that it's it makes me really happy.
So yeah, this
and then we got I have Fletcher quick. Fletcher spoke next and he said all week he's heard people asking him why he did what he did to Ospreay, and I noticed his hair. His hair is
crazy
mushroom.
Yes,
it's a mushroom. He says it's been all about Ospreay and that they want to know why, then too bad. And Cal says the family has never been stronger. One note I wrote when I was just watching this was like Cage being here is random. We missed something for sure, or it's just random. I can't deny. If I saw someone doing a drill claw, I'd take him too.
True, just sign him.
Yeah,
right there.
But Cage and Archer as a team is crazy. Like
it is. They need to sort of.
Was just on record as saying I don't love Archer, but if you do him right, I think he's cool.
They do need to Takeshita and Fletcher are awesome. Callis can be awesome. The tag team
Murder Machines is a sick name too.
Needs to be. They gotta sort of rehab Fletcher or not Fletcher.
The
Archer.
Group? Oh, Archer. Yeah,
a little bit
for sure
of all of them,
and this might be a way to do that.
I hope so. Because I want success for Takeshita and Fletcher.
Takesha's a singles guy. Fletcher's breaking out.
Yeah, you've got your main eventer.
A monster, a Haas tag team.
You've got your main champion, secondary champion tag team. So I like that formula.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Trent.
And they just need Callis to go with the super heel persona.
Which I think we were back to as well.
Yeah.
It was good. Not a ton of development, but this is solid. Callis introducing Cage and Archer's a new team is random, but on paper, that's crazy. If you book them like monsters, it could be really awesome. I love Cage, and I don't hate Archer. If they do Archer right, he's cool. I don't know why Cage is here, and Gates of Agony kind of get screwed in all this.
I know. What about doing Toa Leona instead?
That's true.
I enjoy him a lot.
Why not bring in the whole embassy? Because
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I like Bishop Khan, real life prince.
He's a real life prince.
He is an actual prince.
You heard it here first.
This is the first time we're talking about it.
No one ever
Takeshita
has.
sounded good. He sounded a lot more confident in Japanese, but I think just in general, he has a really cool sounding voice.
He does.
Like he's got like it's like kind of deep, gravelly. Like it's cool. I thought Fletcher's delivery was good, a lot slower and more methodical as he was talking heel, but they're holding off his motivations, so maybe that's some more thinking time. Callis is back to supervillain, which is always better. He's got pretty decent crew brewing, bit of a monster factory, some tall boys because Takesha's big, and Fletcher's almost as tall as Archer, which is crazy to me.
And even though Cage is listed at 6'1", I'm 6'1", and I have pictures with him.
But he's also the beefiest boy around.
He is like 3 times wider than me, but 6'1" is generous.
Yeah, he's the beefiest boy on the block.
Yeah.
I wonder what they'll do with Hobbs when he comes back, because if he's still affiliated,
another monster.
Holy Haas.
Yeah.
And where's Trent?
Gone. He's not been released.
Trent's dead.
Future endeavored.
He might have died.
He might have. Careful.
I'm just saying. Then we get a Mariah May interview. She's mad that everyone's talking about Willow showing at Wrestle Dream when May's the one who won the match. She rants about Storm being on the PWI cover when she killed her, which I thought was funny the way she phrases that, because I think the women's ranking for PWI is out soon.
It is.
In the wake
Storm's
of
number 1, apparently.
I guess. She rants about the lack of competition and asks if anyone wants to even come to work anymore. Anna Jay comes in fired up, gets in May's face. They have to be separated by Daniels and officials. Daniels takes an inverted slap from Jay. And obviously Jay will get a title shot because she won an eliminator for some reason.
May sounded super confident.
I really liked her promo.
And she is like also not being the cowardly heel. She's a fighting heel champion.
Kind of like Gunther.
Think she's way better than everybody, very much so, right? And this is where we didn't know. Well, it kind of tells you Anna Jay's her next program, and that's a terrible idea. But obviously, an easy retain for Mariah.
Oh, you think?
Because
cool, I didn't think she'd win the eliminator either. So here we are.
She is consistently cool.
Yeah. She raised some good points. I really liked her intensity and how she's like talking down to everybody, right? She wants competition, but she's also above all the competition.
That's right.
However, I have no idea why Anna Jay of all people took this as a challenge and was so fired up. Unwarranted, also, oh god, no thanks.
And was successful. Gross.
Ricochet interviews next. Yikes.
It's about as good as he's gonna sound, is what
it was pretty good, yeah. He says Takeshita and Callis act like Takeshita beat both him and Ospreay when he only beat Will. He says they claim he's the best in the world, but your matches dictate that. He's ready to show he's the best, and he doesn't need lackeys like Takeshita. He has an open challenge for a collision, which is against AR Fox. That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. Ricochet's not the best on the mic, but he was fine here. And him versus Takeshita would be awesome, but it's cute because there's no way he holds a candle to Takeshita whatsoever.
Yeah, I think like he sounded fine here. This is as good as he gets. He's not great, but it's passable, right? Made some decent points, and one-on-one with Takeshita will be awesome. So
Takeshita against anybody.
And then I said teams are lining up to be fodder for Blackpool.
Yeah.
Basically.
Blackpool beat up more people backstage. They're beating up Dark Order and Top Flight to near like an arena exit. And I forgot to mention earlier, but the visuals like them beating up a bunch of people in the ring, and people are like storming the ring and they just can't get in against the like, I love it. It makes them look so cool, and just something about them fighting off a swarm of guys just always makes me chuckle because I just love it.
It's the putties.
And they're beating up like they're beating up like two factions here.
Yeah.
Like two trios, which I think is hilarious. They leave in the back of the pickup truck again, which I think is just also cool.
Well.
and they're driving out, and John Silver's just sprinting after them.
He's really funny.
It was awesome.
And again,
John Silver's really funny.
We're getting a little bit of Uno and Silver, who we
Uno's
really
fired up, yelling at the camera, saying if they want to fight, they'll give it to him. He said a bit more here, but I thought Uno sounded really good. Like there are times, remember when he caught a really good promo against Hangman or something? Like he's really underrated on the mic because when they give him time to shine, he always, I find, because I feel like it's not the first time I've been impressed with an Uno promo, right? So I thought he sounded really good and just like.
And there's another group they've had nothing for.
Right. And then Dante talks to the camera too, saying Blackpool have to go through them if they want to fight. And Jerry says they're coming for their goal, which sets up that collision title match.
Yeah.
But another good segment and good beatdown from Blackpool. They, if anything, again, it shows Mox's approach is working. Again, I don't think it justifies being a group of bullies, but it's motivating longtime guys like Dark Order to step up and rise above the lack of prominence, like you said, that they've had for however long now. I thought Uno sounded really good here. Mm-hmm. And then it's motivating young guys like Top Flight to kind of rise up as well. I imagine they all get shut down because they're lower card, but I could see this being a recurring theme. Like as Blackpool's dominance grows and continues, we're going to keep getting stuff like this, right? And eventually we'll get to guys like Darby and whoever's going to beat them, right? But I like this because it makes sense, and this is going to benefit people.
It's going to benefit them. It's going to establish Blackpool, right? So it works really well, I think.
Yeah, so I really like this, and I would like to see a trios title match for Dark Order just because I think they deserve something, because I thought Uno sounded really good.
He did.
And just John Silver, man.
Yep, I've missed them. They're fun.
They are fun. I miss my favorite AEW moment ever will always be their entrance with Hangman.
There you go.
That's just the best thing ever. Then we come to our main event, which is Switchblade versus Christian Cage. Bang Bang Gang get kicked out early, and an innocent chair suffers the wrath of Juice Robinson. Remember, he was like stomping on it, then he sat it down just to kick it.
Yep, just to knock it over. Yeah,
I love Juice Robinson. He was like pounding the apron when the match was starting too. Like again, like John Silver, Juice is just hilarious. I love him so much. He gets a lot of praise here. We love him.
He's a funny boy.
He is a funny boy. Heel or face, I think he's hilarious. Switchblade sends Cage hard into the steel stairs. Cage gets like jerseyed with his turtleneck. White rains down punches and then some chops. Inverted DT on the apron from Cage. Kip Sabian comes in to distract Cage, who misses a spear, and White gets a roll for 2. We also see Hangman come in, but he's not able to interfere yet, so he's kind of like hiding out of view, like under, like beside the apron, but like under ring level, so he can't be seen. Uranagi from White for 2, which just he does it better than everyone else. Eye gouge and a kill switch from Cage for a near fall. Saito suplex from White looked awesome. Then he falls with a running uppercut in the corner and a front chancery suplex into the turnbuckles, which also always looks awesome. Mm-hmm. The finish comes when Kip Sabian distracts the ref as Christian signed up for a spear. White catches him, goes for a Blade Runner. Hangman comes in with a buckshot, and Christian takes advantage to beat White here. And that is it. And Hangman's just like lying on the ground looking insane.
I'm sure, looking insane. Like lying flat on his back.
He's just like
looking crazy. So the first like 2/3 of this kind of under-delivered for me. I thought it was
It came
like,
together though.
It got a lot of time. It didn't seem like a lot was happening. Lots of antics on the floor.
I'm just not thrilled that they blew this off without any segment build up because these guys could have done something great.
Commentary seemed to be talking about other things for a while near the beginning that annoyed me. I thought the final few minutes when White really got rolling were a lot better. But I thought the first bit was pretty ordinary. And then a convoluted kind of finish with the ref looking really stupid.
A little bit. And it looks like Kip Sabian kind of helped Hangman, which is not the point.
And
like
so
he wasn't supposed to help Christian win, I think, right?
Right.
Unless he's joining them. Like, I don't know.
There's a better match in here for sure.
For sure. And I think they should have built it like at least with the week's build up. Because I think obviously the point here is to eventually build to Hangman and Switchblade having a rematch at Full Gear.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. Like I think that's great. But I feel like we have enough time where we could have waited a week, given a slight build to this match, like kind of like they did for Rush and MJF, just not obviously multiple weeks, but like you do one segment this week and then you do the match next week, and then you could run with everything the same. However, I thought this was still good. Like it was a quality main event, and while I don't like that they blew it off so soon, at least it was a main event with like a proper storyline purpose going in, right? So I think that was good. Solid action, never going to be crazy pace with Christian, and I thought it picked up towards the end when White's in control because I think he's got a really great move. That's when it looked good. Yeah. The finish was solid. Sabian looks kind of out of place here. But Hangman coming in to screw Switchblade makes sense because given how obsessed Hangman is these days, taking a clean loss like that is not going to bode well or not going to go well with him.
No, not at all.
So I'm not surprised it's continuing and not complaining at all either. Hopefully we get a stipulation because I'd like something tacked on.
Hangman's not good at letting things go.
Not particularly.
No. Overall, the show I don't think was awesome because there's no matches that were amazing, right? So like all the mock stuff, the BCC stuff is cool. That was great. But then there's Cole, then there's Jericho, then there's Learning Tree, right? So then just, I don't know, a lot of stuff that wasn't the best for me. I don't think it's quite, I'm not willing to go C, but I'm going to go B- with this one. Outside of the Blackpool stuff, I didn't think anything was fantastic.
I agree. I think Blackpool carried the load here. Everything they did here, I really enjoyed, and everything I think that we're setting up, I'm really excited for. I think the big blemish on the show is Cole.
Yeah, and that was a very lengthy segment.
And that's a good promo, but it's just the circumstances around it. I can't do it. I think none of the matches were bad, but none of them felt like amazing either. My favorite was probably Shelton.
I was going to say, one of the highlights is Shelton looking awesome. That was cool.
Good. Yeah, so I agree. It's a B- show. Not a horrible show, but like just okay.
Yep. All right, so we'll move into a little bit of a break from analysis and go into a trivia segment where I think it's round 2 of Jack asking me trivia. So we'll see how that goes. We call it Off the Top of His Head. All right, so this actually went pretty well last week. Not only did I do fairly well, but like this, it sounded okay, I think, and everything. I didn't see any issues with it, so
I was thinking some way we could do this as like its own thing sometimes. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's fun. Just I'd have to make yours easier than mine.
Let's see if we get a copyright strike this week. We got a copyright notification. Copyright,
okay.
It's labeled that it's a copyright, but it's like, yes, they know you used their stuff, but they don't care. And it was only for CFOS's Ricochet theme. So anyways, we'll see what happens. What are they going to do? Demonetize us?
I guess so, right? Yeah. It's just the strikes that would like get us out.
Okay, so I get the option still if I need it. So it's wrestling themes that I should know or might know.
In theory, you should know.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
How many? 10 again?
Yes.
Let's go.
All right, number 1.
Keep score.
All right. Yeah, okay. Hold on, I'll give you a moment.
I'm good.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot I muted my volume. My mistake. I caught myself, though. We're chilling. All right, let's try it now.
I was hoping it wasn't my end.
Okay, all right.
Don't play too much.
I'll stop there for now.
I need options, but I feel like I might know it.
Okay. Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez.
Oh man, those are all tough.
I thought you might remember this one. I can continue it, so that's a bit of a different section.
No. Sorry, give me the options again.
Ripley, Baszler, Dakota Kai, Gonzalez.
Baszler.
Yeah.
Nice. Half. I get a half.
I'll give you a half, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Numero dos.
I was confident on that one, eh? You like that? Once you gave me
after options twice, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'm good. I know it.
You should.
I should.
I hope you can try with it. I can.
It should be retrievable.
You'll be mad if you don't get it with the options because I feel like you'll know.
Oh, I will know for sure, but it's because it resembles another one, and I don't think you're reaching that far back into NXT. Give me the options. Damn it.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it.
Machine Guns.
No.
OVE. Tyler Rust or the North.
Oh, that's the North.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, who are you thinking it might be?
So because they were like dubsteppy back in the day, it was
Murphy,
Dubstep Cowboys, Murphy and Blake.
I do like their theme. That's a good one though, actually.
Oh, Josh Alexander. Duh. Okay, at least I'm getting them.
All right.
Go ahead.
Next one.
I know this one too.
You should.
Okay, give me options.
So what? You're at 1 point right now collectively.
Yeah,
correct?
I've got both.
Okay, no, I'm just making sure.
Making sure. Go ahead. Give me the options. I'm good.
Sanity.
No.
The Kingdom.
No.
Bullet Club. Chaos.
Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the one that ABC uses, right?
I thought that would be the only reason you
I almost want to take that shot, but
the Kingdom?
Just guessing. I was going to guess ABC.
Yeah. That I probably wouldn't give it to you, but like that's not bad. Like that was a logical guess.
All right, number 4.
All right.
Struggle.
I'll leave it there because I'm not sure if it's going to say the word or not. Wait, actually, let's find out. Nope.
Is that Perfect 10?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the point. All right.
Yes.
My options were Roddy, Dillinger, Noe, Jose, and Aries.
It would have taken me longer to retrieve Dillinger, I think, because he spears again, and I'm not very smart. Okay.
It says 10 at the very beginning, and so when the beat drops, I wasn't sure if it was going to say 10 again.
I actually knew that was coming. Okay. I'm killing it. Go.
Next one.
Stop it. I need the options for sure.
All right. Jack Starr and Dave Mastiff, Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith, Pretty Deadly or The Hunt?
I'll go Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's their first theme.
It just had that vibe to it, right?
I know. That's the struggle for me. Is
so like I'm 5 for 5, kind of.
The vibe. Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. 6.
Somewhat. Yeah. All right. I don't know when the beat drop is. But... Okay, hold on. Let me skip forward a bit.
Okay. Give me the options.
Eddie Edwards, Kaz, Eric Young, or Brian Myers.
Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, because I remember you hated that one. That's why I picked it.
That's why I'm like, is it Eddie Edwards? Is it the OC?
Because I know you hate it.
I do.
Oh, that Good Brothers theme? I would pick it, but it's too like...
it's iconic for me.
You know it.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to need options.
Oni Lorcan, Anthony Henry, Tyler Rust, or Kyle Fletcher.
If it's Tyler Rust, I should know it because you play it all the time, but I'm not going to. But I feel like that's a red herring. So I'm going to go, I don't know why, Oni Lorcan?
Tyler Rust.
Damn it. You got me. Okay. The first one I haven't gotten.
I purposely changed the options to make sure you wouldn't guess Tyler Rust.
Okay, so I've got 7 out of 8. I mean, half marks for most of them, but whatever.
All right.
Killing it.
This is number 8.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
I love that one.
Oh, I know.
You do. I know you know.
It's Killian Dane and the other guy, Rockstar Spud.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. That Drake Maverick.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that one. I don't know why.
Spud. That goes way back.
I love that one though.
It's the contrast that makes it clear, right?
It is, yeah. But that one's a classic.
That's funny. Okay, number 9.
That was actually a decent run for them.
I did good.
All right, number 9.
I've only missed one. banger. Okay, I need options.
Lorcan and Birch, Legado del Fantasma.
Legato.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I was
like
going to say
song.
Forgotten Sons or The Way.
I was close to being able to guess that one.
Right.
Last one?
Last one. I'm proud of this one.
Okay. Options.
Undisputed Elite, Super Elite, Good Brothers, or The Elite.
I'll go Super Elite.
Damn it, that was
yes.
the one. Yeah. I thought that was gonna get you for sure. I was like,
dude, I got one wrong.
I was purposely super mean on that one.
But technically, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like with the half marks.
For no bonus marks whatsoever. Can you remind me who's in that group?
In what group?
Super Elite.
No. Adam Cole.
Nope.
Oh,
that was Undisputed Elite. Because Undisputed Elite was him,
right.
Cole, Red Dragon, Bucks, and this one was Omega, Good Brothers, Bucks.
Good Brothers would never get there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I did well. That was fun again. I like it. Hopefully, people also like it. We'll shift gears back into. Do you have figuring before we go into this?
No.
So our final segment this week, where we talk about anything notable from anything else we watched from the world of wrestling, it's Highspots and Restholds. Okay, so I only have a few things from Raw. I have less than normal this week for whatever reason.
Because you didn't really watch it, right?
No, just sort of cherry-picked some highlights and stuff like that. So we saw... I was confused because Stratton was on Raw, right? So apparently she was there, the part we didn't see, to deliver a message to Rhea Ripley from Nia Jax, and then Stratton and Jax, right, get blindsided by Morgan and Rodriguez.
Because, it's the build to the blood money matches that don't matter.
And I think they're trying to make Rodriguez look like a monster here, but her takedown of Stratton onto the briefcase was a little not good looking. But anyways, Liv ends up holding up Ripley's title, and it does set up a tag match for actually this episode of Raw where it was...
Can they coexist?
Liv, exactly. So Nia and Ripley, can they coexist against Liv and Rodriguez? Bronson Reed, there was a sit-down interview with Adam Pearce where he basically says that his actions were calculated, designed to get him a main event on Raw, and he wants Rollins to further prove to Pearce that Reed is a top guy in WWE. Pearce says he'll talk to Rollins, and he admits that Reed is a smarter businessman than he thought. And I thought Reed sounded good here. And I also like that he's smart enough to know, like, I'm not just this crazy monster. I did all this stuff to get a main event with Braun.
Apparently he wasn't even supposed to do 6 tsunamis originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just like, I think, feeling the crowd, he said.
Yeah, nice. And so, like, all of this he's doing to just make himself more prominent. So, and then later in the show, Rollins responds, and basically he's talking to Pearce too. And he knows guys like Reed are going to try and make their name off of him, and there's a reason he runs this place. He needs this fight because he needs people like Bronson Reed to push him. So it's this weird situation where Reed wants the fight, Rollins wants the fight, Pearce needs to think about it. I don't understand. You don't like money. You don't like making matches that are kind of interesting.
You want to piss off your roster.
So I thought that was weird. The War Raiders are back, right? Beat Alpha Academy.
Old theme, old name.
No face paint.
No face paint.
In a 3-minute match.
Not even the old face paint.
Same
just
finisher?
No face paint.
I don't remember.
It's very similar to Fall. The old one was like Rowe would hold him for the back, like in the backdrop position like that, but then he would do like Hanson would do like a leg drop, but then he just kind of dropped him in a splash. It's a cool variation, but I like the original better for sure.
And they should push these guys if they cared about tag team division at all, but they don't. So I don't know what will happen with them, but they're awesome. And they've been
them beat Judgment Day.
They've been wasting years and years. When they first came to NXT, like these guys were incredible.
A match I'd want to rewatch is it's the same show as the Cole Greeno match I mentioned, but remember they had that match with Aleister Black and Ricochet that was really good.
Yes, they're awesome. They're really
cool.
They need to get involved with Blackpool to get more relevant.
I mean, it seems to work.
It does. Couple other things. Miz lost to R-Truth, right? I think he rolled him up.
So stupid.
And Cross and AOP.
Not even like I care about Miz, but that's just a stupid thing to do if you're turning for someone fresh heel to like have him lose to distraction, roll up to the guy who told him to. Because the Cross, the guy who told him to turn heel, came out and distracted him.
And then beat down Truth, threw him in the ring for Miz to hit a skull-crushing finale.
So like, why did Miz lose here? And then if the theory is that he's turned heel to build up to Cena, why would you have him lose here?
And it's one of those things that I don't care enough to think very deeply about it, right?
Yeah,
So I
that's
don't
fair.
even try to make it make sense. It's just kind of existed. Jay and Jimmy are still having issues, right? What is it? Jimmy wants to talk to Jay, and
Jimmy was trying to recruit him because they need help against the Bloodline, him and Roman.
Oh, and he's not interested so
and
far.
Jay rightly doesn't want to, so at least he's actually smart here.
That's all I took from that, from Raw. NXT show, I'll go over most of it. I did leave out a few things on this too, because they're not important. I'm trying to do a better job of just like, we don't need to go through every detail of these shows. Tony D's in the ring. He beat Obafemi last week, right, for the North American title. So he's at the ring at a table with a tablecloth, drinking a glass of red wine. He thanks his family. I was a little confused. He claims he baited Femi. So I don't know what he's saying was like the whole "I'm afraid of him" thing was the bait, or
how is that bait though?
That's what I mean. I don't quite get what he's saying. Anyways, it brings Oba out. He does. He even walks out with a little bit of a whatever to his theme. It's really kind of cool. It's just a very subtle, like he's on beat with his theme. So he congratulates Tony for beating him, but says it won't happen again. He'll regain the title at Halloween Havoc, and then he just sort of walks up the ramp, and the big the wheel is there.
Oh yeah, you spin the wheel, make the deal.
So he spins it and gets tables, ladders, and scares for their match. So one thing I didn't love, Femi automatically gets a rematch, but Paige doesn't. Will Washington. Right? So, and to be honest, the match last week, the Femi Tony match was really good. Like I was very surprised.
Yeah, you actually
not surprised, but I really liked it. So I guess running it back isn't the worst thing in the world. Stephanie Vaquer made her in-ring debut, right? She beat Ren Sinclair under 5 minutes. Solid debut for Vaquer. I think she's really cool. She has a different look, kind of a different style.
I don't remember her much because I only saw her at Forbidden Door.
Right? Seems really fresh in the confines of NXT. She came across looking really aggressive here.
Haven't they been teasing Delta too? So now they got like
okay. So funny you say that. I don't know if it's because they're attaching her vignettes to commercials and I skip through commercials and I miss it. But apparently there's a vignette on this one.
It's like a wasteland looking thing. Yeah.
And there's been another one and I've missed both.
It must be that because I feel like based on how I've seen it look, I could see you making that mistake.
Right. That must be what it is. So she used Vaquer's finisher was a package backbreaker. So like package pile driver, but then it's onto the knee. Cool. I'm not sure it's a finisher, but it's a cool move.
Sounds like a cool movie. I was thinking that, yeah, but that sounds all right.
Jade and Roxanne come out for a post-match attack. We get a little bit of a scuffle. And what is it? Julia came out to help her, I imagine, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right. So anyways, then we got backstage, and I mentioned this because it comes up again, and I'm a bit confused. Ashante Theodonis apologizes to, I didn't know who it was until I was using a recap to refresh my memory because there are so many generic blonde women backstage.
Was it one of bright gray?
It was Reese and Carmen Petrovich, apparently.
Okay.
So anyways, I
feel like you should know Petrovich at this point.
I should. But when they're not in ring gear, it's really hard.
That's fair. For you.
So for me, not for a normal person of average intellect, but for me.
For you, that makes sense.
So I guess he cost them their match last week, right? Because anyways, he is what he is. He hands them a rose. Spears and Jensen show up. Words are exchanged.
I forgot they were a thing.
Jensen takes the rose, rips it apart, and leaves it on the floor. Stone comes in to sort of break things up between Adonis and Jensen. And then the last thing we see is Carmen picking up the pieces of the rose to end the segment.
Does she like him?
Yes.
Oh.
It seems. So to be honest, I said I wasn't sure who
you
was
mean
in the
Adonisly?
segment. Adonis. He did say Adonisly in this again, which I still enjoyed, right?
It's a good line.
And it's weird because it's almost presenting Adonis as a babyface now.
That's what I thought. I was like, are they changing that?
Where all he's been is a slimy pickup artist that everybody hates, right? And Eddie Thorpe had to take on.
You mean DJ Platonic?
DJ Platonic. Yes, exactly. The gentleman's duel we get. Alexis King and Oro Mensah.
I swear Jack Gallagher did something like that with Arya Navarre on 205 Live.
That would make sense.
Well, that was his whole gimmick, though.
Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Yeah.
So the rules were strange. It was something about you can't strike an opponent if they're making 4 points of contact with the mat. So King, who's been
you shouldn't be able to hit them from behind or something like that. You know what I mean? That feels in vain of that.
So it was kind of funny because King has been sort of playing like he's a babyface lately, but then anytime Mensah would go to strike him at the beginning, he'd just drop to all fours, right? And the ref would be like, whoa, you can't do that. that was kind of funny. King actually hit a Michinoku driver at one point, which I was surprised because it was an actual move. Anyways, his coronation gets countered back and forth. King wins with a bridging pinfall. And then there's like, he wants to shake hands with Mensa after, and Mensa's rightfully skeptical of that. I didn't think it was very good, this match, but it's kind of par for the course with King, right? He's not.
Yeah.
I heard he's going down to Deep South to wrestle.
Like Deep South Wrestling?
Yeah.
That's old, because that was like an old developmental territory for them.
Yeah. So anyways, it's King. It's not, I didn't think that they had great chemistry. I normally enjoy Mensa, but King kind of drags things down for me generally. Cedric Alexander and Javon Evans are backstage kind of talking to Axiom. They're not happy. Fraxium. Fraxium cost them a match a couple weeks ago. Wesley interrupts. He's just right into Evans to stay out of my way in the triple threat match. I can't remember what else he says about him. And then Cedric and Evans did a little thing where they basically in unison call Lee salty, right? With a little like sing it kind of a little bit. And they go back and forth for a bit. Man, I did not want to like Javon Evans because I'm like, here's another super young, skinny, just flippy kid. But even he's got this super late, like chill is what your brother
He's got
say.
an interesting delivery to him, right?
He's got a really laid back but confident. And yeah, he doesn't sound like anybody else. He's super unique and kind of real.
Mm-hmm.
And his in-ring ability is really good too. So they have something with this kid. They need to just lock him up. He's what, 20 or something like that? Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy. And Fraxium Evans Alexander match would be pretty entertaining if that's looks like where we're going. And another good defense for them, but a good match they can have.
That should be pretty killer. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Nikita Lyons gets a vignette ahead of her return match, and I just said she kicks things in tight clothes and tells us the bounce back is better than the setback. Right into her taking on Lola Vice. And remember when they set this up, I was wondering, like, how do you handle this? Because Lola Vice is like momentum galore and they seem to like her. So I don't know if she can lose. And Nikita Lyons is back from an injury. I don't think she can lose. So what they decided...
They went with like a scurry finish, right?
They did.
Yeah.
They had Jada Parker come down, get on the apron. She takes a kick from Vice off the apron. And then we complain about the Hypnotize not being a good finisher.
Yeah.
Parker absolutely...
She did deck her here, yeah.
Flattened her with it. It was by far the best one I've seen, I think. And then Lyons ends up winning. Did she always win with a Vader bomb?
No,
I thought she did
that split-legged leg drop. That always looks stupid.
So maybe the knee's not recovered or whatever. But
they realize that's a stupid finish.
She did not seem to be in as good a shape as when she left. And that's understandable, coming off a serious knee injury. I'm not being critical. It's just an observation. She did not seem quite the same. I don't think it was very good, but I don't think she's very good, right? We've never been...
No, she's
Nikita
always one of those
Lyons
2.0 projects that I never understood.
Right.
Backing. Especially it's been a while now, so...
And I'm happy Parker seems to firmly back to being a heel, because for a while it was weird. She was tweenering and leaning face almost, but now she's back with OTM, so...
is she?
They're backstage together
okay.
in a funny segment. A segment I enjoyed anyways. So Fatal Influence are complaining that Julia and Vicker show up out of nowhere and get all these opportunities, which is reasonable from their point of view, I think, right? Ava says that two of Fatal Influence can take on Julia and Vicker next week with a potential title opportunity in the balance. I personally don't like the combination of Vicker and Julia. I feel like Vicker, the way I see her, should be like a lone wolf and maybe even a tweener right now, and like doesn't have any alliance with anybody is how I would book her. And I don't have any interest in seeing Fatal Influence. I think Fallon Henley's pretty good, but like...
I don't like her acting in this. So.
I don't either. Remember when I sent you the screen recording of their like little, whatever, what do you even call it? They're mugging for the camera on their entrance. It was so awful. Riley Osborne, guess what? He lost to Ridge Holland again in about 4 minutes.
Shocking.
This is about the match lengths on this show, a lot of it. Osborne, he did show good fire. He like jumped onto Ridge before the match even started. Ridge won with his Redeemer, and then he sets up to do it again on the announce table with Thea Hale like freaking out and screaming. But you heard it's the return of Andre Chase.
I did see.
He takes out Ridge, clotheslines him over the rope, I think. Officials intervene. Booker pointed out the flaw that I did, and that's what makes me laugh about Booker sometimes, is I don't even know if he knows he's like undercutting the story. He points out that Osborne was never a supporter of Ridge Holland, right? And now he's behaving like he is totally a supporter. And it's like, I was always on your side, sort of thing. So that made me laugh. I like Chase U fine, but I wasn't really missing Andre Chase, so him and Ridge continuing this program and story is not super appealing.
I feel like it's a logical conclusion.
You have to, right?
Yeah.
And I still think there's a chance Thea turns.
Yeah,
I know
I
I'm
agree.
clinging to that, but
Yeah,
forever.
that's your thing.
Byron Saxton is talking to Tatum Paxley. He's like down on the floor as she's playing with her dolls in her dollhouse, and one of them looks like Wendy Chu, I think. So
I saw Wendy Chu and Rosemary getting a shot at the Knockouts tag belts at whatever show thing.
Who has them right now?
I think it's still Spitfire.
Is it? Paxley says she never forgets and remembers when Wendy Chu pretended to be her friend and played with her dolls. And so they're like crouched down playing with the dolls, and Jada Parker and OTM, and she just like picks up Byron Saxton, takes him away because she wants to talk to him, right? Like, just,
Yeah.
I really liked her attitude. She's unhappy, she wants to talk about Lola Vice for a minute. Paxley's unhappy about Parker's interruption. Jada's like, I don't doubt that you can handle Wendy Chu, but I don't play. And then she just grabs one of the dolls, and like, her attitude is awesome. She's
also got a delivery kind of like Javon, or it's different.
And just the way she's like, no, I'm here. I want to talk to Saxon. I don't care what he's doing or who's talking to him. And to be honest, Paxley is that trying her butt off with a gimmick that is maybe not the best, but she's like really putting her all into it, right? So I think it like bodes well for other better stuff. Then
she's gonna get stuff like that, like, you know,
this isn't my least favorite. Whatever,
she can do whatever
she can. Yeah, she's kind of like Cameron Grimes.
That's
right?
what I was gonna say. Like, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yes, exactly. Because it kind of, they can give you all this weird stuff that's never really going to get you above mid card, right? I feel like. I watched Grimes. Oh my God, what's his real name?
Trevor Lee.
Against. It was on that Roseland show. I went back to it.
Tankman.
It was pretty good. Oh, Kevin Blackwood.
Oh,
he's the champion of whatever. That was 3 federations combined. But anyways, pretty good. Getting back to NXT. Brooks Jensen beat Adonis in under 5 minutes. Surprise, surprise. Petrovic comes out near the end of this with a small velvet bag. What do you think's in that bag, Jack?
Thumbtacks.
No. She kicks Spears.
Oh, she glued the rose back together.
Dumps the rose petals out of the bag onto the apron. Adonis goes up top, Spears on the apron. Adonis gets crotched. I don't think Spears actually did anything other than distract the ref. Jensen wins with the Tower of London. So fine enough short match, kind of more about the angle, or at least as much. And it looks like we're getting a long, I love an NXT romance angle.
Index,
so it's been
baby.
A while. And it looks
like
like Kiana James and Jensen, right? Oh, they tend to go this route.
That was bad too.
So, and I don't understand how has Adonisly, how has Theodonis's approach with women won Petrovic? Like, what is she seeing him? He's just a slimy, like, pickup artist, and now she's like,
she can fix him.
Oh, right, that's right. I can save him. So, anyways, doesn't make sense. Lexis King walks up to No Quarter Catch Crew because it was Dempsey's idea for the gentleman's match. So he got his win. He's happy. He gives Ren condolences for losing to Vakur. And then he says thinks he's ready for a rounds match. I'm like, no, thank you. And he's like, just kidding, but seriously, or something like, he's doing that kind of gimmick. He then walks by the family, and they're talking about Tony's match at Halloween Havoc. And I told you, Luca Crucifino says he wants to take on Oba for Tony next week, and I think Tony agrees to it. And I told you that Crucifino basically, like what we say sometimes, because like, someone's like, what even is a tables, ladders, and scares? And he's like, it's basically an anything goes or no DQ.
No, it's a TLC match. Right. There's supposed to be a TLC match.
But all it means is you can't get disqualified for anything. That was funny. He's kind of like, basically like, doesn't matter what they call it. They're all the same, basically. And then the main event was the number 1 contenders triple threat with Javon Evans, Wesley, Ethan Page. I thought this was pretty terrific. Like, honestly, it might maybe like a 4-star match. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. By far the best match, like exponentially better than
second best triple threat match of the past 2 weeks.
Right. And that's the problem, right? It pales in comparison. I don't even have many highlights. At one point, Evans just kind of came out of nowhere and took out Page on the announce table. Lots of good action, not so much like people waiting around to do things. Everybody kind of involved for a lot of it. Evans hits that twisting splash to Wesley at one point, and Page ends up stealing the pin.
I saw that, yeah.
So I like the heel finish, but I'm not thrilled about running back Page versus Trick, but then like, I'm not pumped about Trick versus anyone at this point.
That's not a good champion then.
No, it's really not. Because like, Trick Wesley, I don't know. Like, okay.
Better, but
Trick Javon Evans, okay. And the thing is, like,
remember they were going to do Trick and Javon? That's how we got our Heat Wave.
Trick's not going to carry a match, right? So
And I don't know how much people can carry him.
We say it all the time. He's kind of plateaued at this point.
Yeah.
When he was Melo's sidekick, man, they were so cool. He was perfectly cast. It was a perfect pace for him.
Melo could always do the legwork.
Yeah, and Melo do the heavy lifting. When he was just interjecting little comments as Melo was cutting promos, it was awesome. Anyways, that match was really, really good. It was a very quality main event with actual stakes attached to it, regardless of how I feel about running back Paige.
I was saying to you, even though they've had 2 matches and they traded the title, Paige didn't win in a singles match, so technically Trick is up too. It's not even a tiebreaker.
Right.
It's just a third match where Trick probably wins.
And again, he had to win a grueling triple threat to get his rematch when Oba is just given one. So
I mean, Oba is scarier.
Oba is intimidating, and maybe just they gave him one to keep him
as
happy.
He said before, Tony was scared of him or tricked him or something.
Yeah. That is all I had. I didn't get around to any TNA. I don't know if anyone really cares. But do you have any?
That question answers itself.
And SmackDown is happening as we speak, so we don't have anything.
I saw Jey Uso was there.
Of course he is.
So
can they coexist?
Maybe I'll check out Machine Gun's debut. I'm not sure.
I probably
it's them
will.
Versus Legado, which is Garza and Humberto.
That could be good, man. I love Garza in ring.
A-Town Down Under's in there now for some reason.
But that's good. Not that they're bad, but anyways. Okay, so I guess that's going to wrap up episode 222. Again, if you haven't already, go back and check out our Wrestle Dream review. It's doing pretty well, getting a bunch of views and downloads and stuff by our standards, as I always like to say.
It's great.
Thanks. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was fun talking about a couple matches on there.
If that gets copyrighted.
Thanks for taking any time out of your week to listen to us talk about wrestling. We'll be back next week for episode 223, we think. Oh, no, we're good next week after. Yeah. We got to make some plans. But anyways, thanks again. Hope to see you back here next week. Until then, everybody, take care.